Hi there, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 quick and easy slimline cards created with pattern paper to share with you. These cards use components from the Simon Says Stamp April 2021 card kit called Friendly Flowers, and we're going to be using 6 products from the kit for these today, as well as some dies. So the dies are from my personal stash. You definitely would not need the dies. You can trim down the pattern papers with your paper trimmer. These are some of the brand new Hero Arts Slimline and Bookmarks Infinity dies. I love them because you're getting the Slimline style die in multiple sizes. I mean, lots and lots of different sizes. So really versatile and great to use. I have die cut some of the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Cottage Feel 6x8 paper with one of those dies, and right now I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the 6x8 Friendly Flowers stamp set included in the kit on this panel using a clear embossing ink. For this card we are using, let's get that card here, the Thank You So Very Much sentiment, and then we are embossing this with the cream embossing powder included in the kit. So you get the embossing powder. I'm not going to use the cream embossing powder on all the cards, but we're going to have it on a couple of them. It just really depends on what I think is going to show up the best, and the cream really worked. In addition to this pattern paper strip, and I want to kind of talk about why I picked the slimline style for these cards. Several of the pattern papers from the kit here, these Simple Stories pattern papers, have these long strips on one side of the 6x8 pattern paper that I thought worked perfectly for a slimline style card. So this particular paper had the flowers on the one side and then like a quote, I think, on the other side, and I loved that. Then I'm going to take another one of the pattern papers from the kit, the black and white stripe, and I die cut it with the next size up slimline die. And then finally, the final layer, the cream cardstock in the background, that's also included in the kit. That was die cut with a slimline die as well. The largest die from this collection is 3.5 by 8.5 inches. Now, again, you don't need slimline dies to do this. You can totally use your paper trimmer to trim down all of these different layers and get the same result. I thought it would be fun to add just a little embellishment here because these cards, as mentioned, are quick and easy, but I still want to add that personal touch. So I've got some vellum butterflies. These are die cut with a couple of different dies from Simon Says Stamp that I just had in my stash. The solid vellum butterfly here is that Adeline butterfly, and then we're going to use one of the stitching butterflies as well. I'm using the body of the butterfly from the Adeline butterfly collection. So the first butterfly I adhered is more solid, and then this one has the stitching detail in its 2 pieces, and there's actually 2 different butterflies in the stitching butterflies and 2 different size bodies. You can use whatever you want there. I picked vellum because I want to be able to see through it to the pattern paper behind, but yet still have the beauty of some additional butterflies in this card. You'll notice all 3 slimline cards today feature butterflies somewhere in them. So very soft, very pretty. You could definitely change out that sentiment and make this any kind of card that you would like. Maybe sympathy, the missing you, friendship. The stamp set included in the kit and also available for individual purchase has lots of different greetings, florals, a border, a butterfly. It's just a really beautiful stamp set. Finally, I am going to finish my card with some glossy accents on the body of the butterflies. And I want to mention that the body of the butterflies was die cut from some slate gray cardstock that also is from the kit. And then I am going to add a scattering of these little matte gold stars to add just a little touch of sparkle throughout. I am using little dabs of Ranger Multi-Matte Medium and an embellishment wand, or you can use a crystal katana, a jewel picker, to easily pick all those little pieces up and pop them in place. And I accidentally got a lot of confetti there. Way too much, but that's okay. We can always put it back in the little container. And I'm just picking these up, and it's very, very subtle, but again, it's one of those little finishing details that I think adds so much to the final card design. Now, all of my cards are going to be really similar today. The next card is actually going to feature a lot of the same elements, just a different background, and we're not going to use the vellum butterflies. We're going to use the vellum butterflies on the last card. Part of the reason it being, so the next panel was actually die cut with the same size of dies. And I'm just picking some Slimline envelopes from my stash, and I really like this green one. I think it looks great. Simon Says Stamp has lots and lots of fantastic Slimline colorful envelopes. They have some mini Slimline envelopes as well. So this is that next background I was talking about. It was die cut with, these are all the same size of dies. We're even going to use the same black and white paper, the other half of that 6x8 paper for the mat for this butterfly strip. But you can see how this butterfly strip, again, just kind of naturally lends itself really well to a Slimline card. I'm stamping Sending Smiles right across that second butterfly body with clear embossing ink. But this time I did not know if the cream would show up great, and I really didn't want to run the risk that it wouldn't. So we're using antique gold embossing powder, my favorite, to stamp that there. And then we're going to have a little additional sentiment that we're going to stamp and emboss on the slate gray cardstock in the kit. That's going to read Across the Miles, and then we're going to die cut it with a little nested banner. While I have my Misty out though, we're going to go ahead and stamp the last panel, and it is slightly smaller. Part of the reason being is the design on this, it was going to run into the text too much, so I just used one size down from the first Slimline size I used for the other two cards. But I really liked this little floral grouping and thought it would be great for a Slimline card, so I went ahead and die cut that as well. This is another example. I stamped and embossed two stamps, Thinking of You and Friend, from the Friendly Flowers stamp set, and I embossed this with antique gold embossing powder as well. Here is that little phrase that I was talking about that we're going to add to the butterfly strip that has Sending Smiles on it. Doing all of the sentiments now kind of at once. And that cream embossing powder is really pretty, and it's a nice alternative to white. I really like it a lot. I love white embossing powder, so I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the cream, but I think it's beautiful, especially when you're using cream cardstock or anything with kind of that distressed type of background. So a lot of these backgrounds have that mixed media feel to them, and I just really like the cream embossing powder for this. When the embossing powder has cooled, I'm going to buff away the excess powder. I've got a little nested banner die. I like the rounded edge one here, and we're going to pop that up with foam adhesive right underneath the Sending Smiles. We're going to add a scattering of the matte gold confetti to this as well, but no additional butterflies. With all the beautiful colorful butterflies in this strip, and of course all that mixed media look like the notebook paper, or not notebook paper, text paper, like book paper and stamping and things, I did not feel like this needed anything additional, so we're going to kind of leave that one as is. But our final card that has more of the floral design that's a lot more similar to the first card, we're also going to add those same 2 vellum butterflies to that one. And then of course our scattering of the gold star confetti. I am not going to put that together on camera because again, very quick and easy. These cards came together very, very fast. Pattern paper is one of those things that it makes creating cards super quick and easy. There's just some simple die cuts here, but you could leave that off and make these even quicker. I really wanted to share ideas with my first set of cards with the kit that could be very easily created quickly and hopefully jumpstart your creativity maybe with some supplies you already have at home. Lots of the 6x8 pattern paper pads would work very similar to this that you might already have. I want to mention really quick, I will link to it at the end of this video, but I also have a planner channel that I have not talked about a lot. It's just kind of gotten started and I'm a little slow with it still, but I did create a planner page using some stickers from the kit, so definitely check that out if you like to create in planners. Here is a look at all 3 of my Slimline cards. I of course paired each of these with beautiful Slimline envelopes from Simon Says Stamp. I have linked to those in the supplies, so if you're looking for some colorful envelopes, check those out. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these quick and easy Slimline cards with pattern paper. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is a video showcasing using some of the stickers from the kit for a planner that you might be interested in. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.